Welcome to Parker's MMA Show. If you want to learn about all things going down in the fight world, you've come to the right place. Each episode, your host Parker Keane will take a deeper dive into the always entertaining world of sanctioned fist fighting. Now here's your host, Parker Keane.
All right,
Craig, we did it.
Craig, we did it. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. We struggle with technology here, so it was all good. How are you?
Pretty good. You guys are in Texas?
We are. We're in Dallas area.
Dallas. Nice. You guys can see me okay?
Yeah, we see you good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
How are you fighting off the corona up there in Chicago? Yeah, no, we're good.
It's crazy. I mean, you know, you don't know you're hearing a lot, but I'm just trying to stay in as much as I can and wash up and do what everybody else is doing. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. All these gyms are closed down and just a lot. But
is it kind of the same deal? All your restaurants, everything shut down in Chicago?
Carry out only. But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is shutting down. They just can't survive on the carry out. But yeah, I know it's kind of essential businesses only. And yeah, my kids are, I got 3 kids and they're just kind of e-learning, whatever that means, for an hour or 2 a day.
Wearing you out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good. We're trying to find different things to do. And I actually started my own kind of Zoom interview show recently. So I'm kind of experimenting with that. And as people are home and just eating up all the content online and
yeah.
Yeah. What are you guys up to?
Oh, just same old, trying to plug along. I'm in the construction business full time, so we haven't really slowed, honestly. We're just plugging along just like normal. We'll see what next week brings, but I mean, for me, it's pretty much business as normal, just trying to stay safe, stay inside. And this is actually, we've been almost 3 weeks off the podcast, so we're getting the podcast rolling again this week, and we're starting with you as our guest, and we want to jump right in. Let's get into it. Screw the corona. Let's talk about some MMA, some fun stuff. So we got Craig Diamond here on the line, Diamond MMA. Jump in. Let's just hear a little bit about your business, your origins, what you guys do.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So I started Diamond MMA over a decade ago, when the UFC kind of got back on TV and the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, I used to watch the old tapes back in college and I was always interested, but I started this business just as a passion project. I was in construction too. My family business is construction, and started making t-shirts back in the early days of the UFC. If you can remember all the, skulls and flames and eagles and all these cheesy kind of aggressive t-shirts. And that was the style. I wanted to make something more of a classic look or design. And so I started making t-shirts. Realized you had to sponsor these fighters and pay them. At that time, it could have been $10,000 for them to walk out in your brand t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
And it just wasn't, sustainable business. We weren't, the tap outs and all these different brands were around. Then we kind of started talking to the fighters and asking them, what their needs are. I mean, I wanted to make a product that they actually needed. And so I would go from gym to gym. I spent time in San Jose at AKA back in the day when, Kane and Mike Swick, Herschel Walker, all these guys, all those, Cormier was just starting out, and just talking to them. And what they said is like, what we really need is a good cup, because we're just wearing these cheap Walmart cups. And as we're grappling and kicking and they're moving and shifting, there really was nothing at the time besides the steel tie cup that you'd have to tie up. And so kind of recruited this team of designers. One of my partners was a wrestler at Purdue and actually is an industrial designer. We started interviewing the fighters to see what they were wearing and what kind of groin protection they're wearing. And one guy would have the big banana cup with a pair of underwear and another compression short over that. Another guy would have 4 layers of jock straps, and just to keep that cup in place. So,
jeez.
We saw a need for a product in this new kind of emerging sport, and through years of research and development and a lot of prototypes, we kind of made what we call the Diamond compression jock system. It's a compression short with a built-in jock strap. It's a 4-strap jock and a really good, comfortable, protective cup. And for the last 10 years, we've been building the business and getting these samples on the fighters. And, years ago, Joe Rogan kind of heard about us when we were on Twitter, seeing videos of me getting kicked in our cup. And
that's how I heard about you. It's awesome.
Right. And he reached out to us. I basically sent him our products. I remember overnighting $85 to fax overnight this to him, and I remember that was so expensive. But it's Joe Rogan, and him to reach out to me was so cool at the time. This was before Instagram, and Joe loved it, and has kind of been a champion of the brand ever since. And even we sent some to his studio at the podcast to give to fighters, and just building the brand and growing. And we're probably on, I'd say, over 75% of the UFC guys that are wearing it, that are active.
Wow. So those early days, what were those like? Are you just going gym to gym, introducing yourself? Like, hey, I'm Craig Diamond. I'm the cup guy. I'm going to protect your nuts. Or what was it? It was just kind of gym to gym, huh?
It was. I mean, once we had a working prototype that I was comfortable with getting these pros to try, they kind of welcomed me with open arms. I mean, I'm there helping them with this really cool new product that they need. So, I was just a guy walking in, and I spent I'm out of Chicago, so Rufus Sport, Anthony Pettis, and all the guys that train there. That's just an hour away from me, so I go there a lot and get them on the guys and get feedback. And usually they would say, "Oh, I love it. I put it on. I started training. I forgot I was even wearing it." And that's the best compliment, is that they forget it's even on. And little by little, back in the day, I would trade a short and cup for a picture or a post, and we still do it. But just getting feedback by the guys, and then just kind of going gym to gym, and made a lot of relationships over the last 10 years, of kind of being around. So
very, very cool. Good.
So, Craig, if you could walk us through a little bit, I'm really curious about how you develop something like that. Is it a situation where you come out with a prototype, you go to kind of a gym or a fighter that you trust, you have them work it out, and then you get feedback and kind of go back in the lab and develop it more? Or, is it more complicated than that, where you're doing kind of stress testing on these cups? I mean, walk us through kind of how you develop the technology and what steps it takes to get to the point that you're at.
Well, it's a good question. So, one, identifying the problem. So the problem is that these super tough athletes that are wrestlers and kickboxers and Muay Thai guys, they need a cup to stay in place. And that's the one part. The second part is to get a cup that's even the right shape, that all your junk's going to fit inside. I mean, if you've ever worn a cup, they're like a narrow cup, you're going to have stuff hanging out the sides, and that's when injuries occur. So one, it's like the old Miller Lite commercials, if you guys are even old enough. Tastes great. No, less filling. They're like, what's better about our system? It's two things. One is the cup being comfortable, and two is keeping the damn thing in place.
Right.
So we developed the compression jock, which is the short with a built-in jock strap. And we kind of took from the tie cup theory, which is that string up your crack, which is what holds that cup in place. That's what was, so that was what's going to keep the cup in place. And once we sewed up a few pairs, we did get feedback. We'd go back to our sewers and make some slight adjustments. We added a drawstring at one point, which guys like, just a little extra layer or a little level of security to cinch it up. So the short and jock system was the one part. Developing the cup was even tougher, because there's molds, there's tools you'd have to make. And the first couple I made were really cool, but they didn't fit good, and they were just a little too wide. So we just had to scrap them. And when we finally got a working prototype that I thought was great, I took the cup myself, put it in one of our compression jock prototypes, the shorts. And I drove up to Team Karan, Jeff Karan, UFC vet, black belt. He's about 45 minutes, and I put that cup in, and I had a pro just kick me. And that was the moment where this is going to work. it's not going to work. Either the cup's going to crack and explode, or my nuts are going to explode. But nobody else is going to try it for the first time. So, and the guy, and I made sure everything was inside, and I made sure that the shorts were fitting. And this guy kicked me so hard, and I was fine. And that was, I felt the pressure, but I was injury free, and the guys all kind of were like, "Whoa!" And it made a real loud sound in the gym. I remember. And then from there, I was able to go into production, and I think we made the first 500 cups, or maybe we probably made the first 3 first, and then we slowly kind of made more and got them out to the guys. So I would say about a year to 3 years really of research and development before everything, and we're still not done. We still are looking for better elastics and better materials to upgrade to be even better. But it was a long but really good process on product design, and realizing that if you're going to design a product, one, it's got to actually have a need and solve a problem. And then 2, test it with your audience. I mean, test it with the people who are going to be using it and buying it. And so that was kind of the process.
So you've got the cup pretty much mastered now. Are you guys looking into getting into more MMA gear, like, gloves, shin guards, stuff like that? Or are you just going to focus on the cup and try to become the dominant company in the cup business, or what's the game plan?
Good question. So we had a lot of requests for that. Like, we love your cup. It protects my family jewels. I need a mouth guard this good.
Yeah.
But really, we want to be the best. We are the best in the world at groin protection for any sport. I mean, we're known in mixed martial arts with the help of all the fighters and Joe Rogan and everybody as the cup for combat sports. We have other products so we have a compression brief that you don't even wear a cup for if you're for a soccer player or a jiu-jitsu guy that doesn't wear a cup. It's basically a compression short with a really good pair of underwear. Mm-hmm. So we have other products within our kind of niche market. Not to say in the future we won't, but we're going to stay and be the best in the world at what we know how to protect right now. And, we'll see what happens in the future.
All right. So your marketing is what caught my eye. I kept seeing on social media, Facebook, Instagram, just people getting kicked in the nuts with this black and blue cup. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I looked into it a little bit. I found you. I reached out to you. But who handles your marketing, and how do you come up with these different ideas? It's obviously paying off, because, I see the shit everywhere. Just people getting kicked in the nuts trying out this cup.
So, yeah, it's myself and a small team. And this is the product. This is groin protection. There's no other better way to test it and show it. And so we have awesome customers that believe in it. They're going to spend a little extra money to buy the best, and they want to show it off. And we have contests. Right now we're running a contest where show us how you use your diamonds and enter in a chance to win $500 and a whole prize pack of diamond gear. So our customers are, with our encouragement, are giving us cup check videos, and it's great marketing, and it helps, and it's proof that it does work. And it's not just me, the crazy founder, that's willing to take a kick from a UFC fighter. It's a 7-year-old kid that's wearing it for Little League Baseball, or a 65-year-old self-defense instructor that took his whole shots from his whole class. We had a guy got tasered in the cup with a 50,000 watt volt. So it's kind of going on its own, and I love it. That's what it is. We want people to be safe and be careful, but if you're wearing it right, you should be able to take a good shot.
Okay, so the 65-year-old's a pretty solid story. What is your favorite story that's emerged out of your marketing, and just letting it run free? What's one of the best stories you have?
The best story is when Joe Rogan talked about our products in a live UFC event during a groin shot timeout. So back in the day, there were a lot more groin shots timeouts. Now most of these guys are wearing our cups, and they can take a shot and keep going. And but the guy went down. Joe Rogan started talking about it. There's this company. They're making they make these cups, and it was like a minute commercial. It crashed our website. I was out to dinner with my family, and a friend said, "Hey, Rogan's on the UFC talking about your shit. Your website's shut down." And so like that was,
that's awesome.
That was about 7 years ago or so. And that was a real moment when it was like, whoa. And we got inquiries from all over the world, from Germany, from, and Australia, wholesale inquiries saying, hey, we heard about this amazing cup. We want to carry your cup. And that kind of started it. And we've been trying to keep up with demand ever since. So, I mean, that was, really exciting. We've had like Chris Cyborg kick some guy in a cup in her gym and post it. I mean, we've just had some really good fans and different stories. We've had correctional officers that are wearing our cups, just on their shift. I mean, a lot of Major League Baseball players, catchers are wearing them now. So, but it's tough because it's a product that's underneath. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're wearing a hat or some gloves. I mean, it's kind of worn underneath, but it's fun to get kicked and show off your cup.
I know Parker is dying to ask this, but I'm going to steal his thunder from him. How many times have you been kicked in the groin during your career manufacturing these cups?
That's a great question. That's never been asked. And you know what? I don't know. Hundreds of times, if not. I don't know about if you're talking contact, broomsticks, canoe paddles, kicks, wiffle ball bats, because there's multiple groin checking tools for the trade.
Sure,
a lot. I mean, we've done trade shows. We did a trade show, a Muay Thai trade show in Iowa. There was 4 days of 8 to 10 hours on your feet of cup checks. You know what I mean? I imagine the number will add up on those weekends, but I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I've been an athlete my whole life. I played football, baseball, hockey, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and I grew up wearing uncomfortable cups. So I know the pain, and guys are superstitious about their gear, and they keep their gear. They'll duct tape their jock strap for 20 years to keep the thing together, and so I love building this company. I love talking to dudes who use the product and appreciate it, and we're just getting started.
I've been using the same cup since Little League, and I'm thinking about, I think I got to make a change now. And now you're talking me into it. Parker and I were talking about it right before this, about if we wear a cup when we're sparring, and we're kind of like, no, they're uncomfortable.
No, I mean, you got to have a good cup, because the injuries are really scary, as you can imagine. And every guy has been hit down below, and even the slightest, contact is a lot of pain. And so, we've got rugby guys now wearing them, and I've heard some really gruesome injuries. And if you really, if you know anybody that's had a bad injury, you definitely need a cup. So we'll talk after the show, and I'm going to get you guys set up, and then we'll do another episode where we can do some cup checks.
That's awesome. So Craig, we talked about other sports a little bit. What other sports are you trying to venture into? Are you just kind of letting it grow organically, word of mouth through MMA guys, and then it trickles into other sports? Or are you actively marketing hockey, baseball, lacrosse, football, all this stuff? Because to me, it's the same issue in every single sport. That just how uncomfortable they are. Yeah.
What you just asked me is the answer. Exactly. So we want to be the best in our niche, and it now is trickling into these other sports kind of organically. So, if a mom is Googling, best cup, best jock, and we come up, but she doesn't know anything about MMA, and she sees us on Amazon, or she sees our reviews, she's going to try it, and so we have a good online reputation, and a lot of influencers talking about us. So yeah, it trickles to other sports, and a lot of these guys do train other sports too. And so yeah, that's kind of, we're staying in our niche, because if we can make a cup and jock for these guys, for mixed martial artists and combat athletes, it's going to be good enough for baseball, lacrosse, and hockey. And it is. And a lot of guys are taking it up. So
currently, where's the best place to get more information about your cups or buy your cups? I assume they're on Amazon, your website, and stuff like that.
Yeah, go to our website, diamondmma.com.
Yeah.
There's a lot of selection. If you're confused on sizing or what you need, there's a phone number. Call the phone number, and we'll pick up and walk you through it. You can message us, but you can go on Amazon and pick them up. And we have retailers. Depending on your area, just check it out. But they're easy to find, and we offer a lifetime warranty on the cup. If it ever cracks or were to tear, we send you a free one. So it's really the last cup you'll ever buy. And you can follow us on Instagram at Diamond MMA. We have good contests, and we got a lot of good stuff going on.
Craig, I think that's all I got. Billy, you got anything else?
That's it. I've never been so excited about groin protection in my entire life.
We got Bill speechless. He's done. He's waiting for his cup.
He's on Amazon right now getting one.
I'm sitting here thinking about all the fights I've watched, like the old fights of dudes like gets kicked in the nuts and fights over, like, and you ruin like what would have been like a perfectly enjoyable night, and all of a sudden like you have a groin injury and that's it, from an inadvertent strike. It happens all the time. In jiu-jitsu, it happens all the time. Dude does a knee slice pass and, scrapes right over your family jewels. It's horrible. I've experienced it.
That's why we're here, is to stop that, because we love the sport. We're fans of the sport, and we want to help it. And so we've done a lot so far, and we're going to continue to do it. And I really appreciate you guys having me on and helping me spread the word to your fans and platform. And I'm going to send you guys out a system for you to try yourself, and we'll do this again sometime.
You're the man, Craig. We enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Everyone, check out Diamond MMA. Craig Diamond, he's your man to protect your family jewels. All right?
Thank you, guys.
Hey, stay safe with the coronavirus, all right?
You too.
All right, brother.
Guys.
Best of luck. Okay.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Parker's MMA Show. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and visit ParkerKeane'sMMAShow.podbean.com for additional information on Parker and to stay up to date on the latest drama in the fight world. For more information and important links about today's episode, check out the show notes.